One of the other things that Canon did with the new system is they implemented a new gel holder, a filter holder as they call it. And it's a little plastic box. It snaps on the front of the speedlight, as you can see. The 600EX comes with exactly 2 gels. They refer to them as the high and low density gel. They are basically what are known in the trade as a CTO gel, color temperature orange gel, and an 8th CTO, an 8th cut of CTO. So we have the holder, we have 2 little amber colored pieces of plastic, and then on the bottom of the flash head, right down under here, okay, we've got a sensor and a transmitter, and basically in the bottom of the gel holder, there is a little prismatic tray, and the speedlight can take a look at the gel and say, this is the CTO gel. Therefore, I've got to, if we're shooting in auto white balance or in flash white balance, the camera will make an automatic move to the color temperature. Now, why is this even something to consider? Here are 2 compact fluorescent light bulbs. One is balanced towards daylight, and the other is balanced towards the look of incandescent or tungsten light. So typically on a CFL package, it'll say daylight or cool. Those are the daylight type bulbs, and they're not perfect replacements for daylight, of course. And warm CFLs are basically designed with that amber cast to fit right into a world that's lit with incandescent lights. Okay? Our eyes don't see the amber tint of incandescent lights because our brain basically does an auto white balance in the real world. We don't see that light over there that's showing on me as being amber in color. But the camera definitely sees that. And while I understand where Canon is going with this new gel technology, I'll be perfectly candid, it doesn't fit for a lot of my speed lighting. And the reason for that is I'm often strapping things onto the front of my speed lights. So not to put this down, I think it's a step in the right direction. But it doesn't quite get where I need it to be. And let me give you some concrete examples. One of the things is that you should understand the color of your speed light. Any electronic flash is the color of noontime sunlight, essentially. So in a situation like the one you see up on the screen on the left, I've got a setting sun, California golden hour, and I need some fill lights. So I put my speed light off on a stand to one side. I fire it in. I have a huge disconnect here between the golden hour sunlight and the color of my flash. It's an easy thing to fix. It takes just a second. And the gel that Canon sends with the 600EX, it will do this exactly. It will do this quite well. And basically, it changes the color of the speed light so that it blends in very comfortably. Even though that gel is designed for incandescent light, the color of a tungsten light bulb is very close to the color of a setting sun. So that flash with that snap-on holder and that darker gel of the two will basically allow you to use fill flash at setting sun or during golden hour. That's great, but all of a sudden begins my disconnect. I'll do something like this. So number one, I'm having to either hand cut my own gels because Canon only gives us the 2, all right? And that gel holder will take a standard 3x3 inch gel, the old Rattan gels, for instance, 75 millimeter gels, all right? It will take those pre-cut gels, but the disconnect for me happens because I'm strapping on things like this all the time. I'm using that Strobe Rose grid holder on the left to make my speed light, which wants to throw light out as a rectangle, and I'm using that grid to turn it into a spotlight. And that's what I used on the shot that you just saw. I took a red gel and the Strobe Rose grid holder, and I turned that into a red spotlight. And I take that Rogue flash bender on the right-hand side of the screen all the time. If I don't want the flash to go onto the background, I put that flash bender, the large one, not the medium, but the large one, on the side of my speed light. I can keep the flash off the background. I can keep the flash if I've got a speed light behind my subject for hair and rim light. I can keep the flash going from going into the lens of the camera. these mods strap on in a way that will knock that Canon gel holder off. So here I am on the shoot. There's the strobe rose with the gel, the red gel crammed right underneath it, and there again is the shot. And the other light that you don't see is exactly the same configuration with the strobe rose grid holder and an amber gel coming right at my subject, all right? So that doesn't work. That modifier doesn't work with that built-in thing. So what I've done for years is what I'm going to continue to do. I'll use other gel opportunities. This is another example. This is the little Stoffen dome diffuser, just that little plastic Tupperware box. And I love the bare bulb look that the Stoffen gives us in this case, all right? You see the Stoffen right there, snaps over the top of the speedlight exactly where the gel holder on the 600 is going to be. So my point in sharing these with you is not to say that that gel holder isn't good. It's a nice, welcome step forward in the right direction. But don't let that be all you do with your speedlights and colored pieces of plastic. You can take your speedlight into so many different territories by throwing modifiers on, by throwing gels on, okay? So if you use the gel holder and then you try a different modifier and the gel holder flies off, fear not. There's lots and lots of ways to get those gels on the camera.